Hey everybody, my name is Sharon Quinn and I'm also known as the original runway diva, and you are watching Model Behavior. Class is officially in session. Today my guest lecturer is plus-size model Ivana Fields. Ivana has been a model for over 18 years and has worked with some of the biggest clients in the industry. Her clients include Old Navy, Marina Rinaldi, Target, Swimsuits for All, Just My Size, and Maury Lee Bridal. Welcome Ivana Fields to Model Behavior. Hey mama,
Hi.
how you doing? So glad to finally get you here. I'm anxious to talk to you, and I'm just going to start off like I always do. How did you get started modeling?
I was in a mall. I was in a mall in college, and I went with a local agency in Pennsylvania, and there was an etiquette coach that inspired me to do it. And she taught etiquette in the 60s. So I did the schooling, and you know, I did well with runway.
Okay, and etiquette
coach from the 60s who would train you how to pose and how to walk and
wow, they don't do that anymore.
do runway and posture.
All very important things, but you don't. I have not heard of anybody doing that, and from the stuff I see, it's still a necessary thing that you need to learn. So you went to a mall.
I was in a mall, and then there was a local modeling agency that, you know, was offering school. So I spent the last of savings bonds that my aunt had given me when I turned 18 to,
wow.
Yeah, my last $500 to get a portfolio done. And I wasn't signed yet to this local agency, and they didn't have a lot of plus clients, but I knew I wanted to do it.
So you went to a modeling school?
Yes.
Like a Barbizon, sort of?
Yes, like a Barbizon. So it was like
okay, so I want to know your pictures. When you shot your portfolio, were you able to use those pictures?
No.
Okay.
No. So I started with them, and then a photography suite mate in college took photos and captured different angles, which I saw, you know, I haven't never saw of myself before. I knew I was photogenic, but I didn't realize, you know, these different angles of myself. So I was in college and I saw a cover of Angelica on Mode magazine.
Yeah, shout out to Angelica.
Yeah, she's my muse. And so she was coming out so beautiful and elegant out of the tropical islands. And so I thought to myself, I can do that. You know, I never heard of plus size modeling. I grew up looking at different, this was in '99.
Okay.
So at the time, I didn't know much of plus size modeling, and we only had one magazine. There wasn't a lot of advertisement out there representing it. So for her to be the first person that I saw, I realized like, oh wow, we can be beautiful and, you know, be in a magazine. So my cousin, Kali Ali, she was doing a lot with Lane Bryant. So she said, if you want to do it, you got to do it big and go to New York.
Right.
So she set up 3 appointments for me. One was with Karen Models, then Wilhelmina, and then Ford. And so I went to all 3, and I needed new photos. So that's where I spent my last $500.
Now, when you shot the photos before you went to the agency, to the calls for the agencies, you shot new photos, or you did that afterwards?
I did it after.
Okay, and you ultimately decided to go with Ford.
I did go with Ford because it took me 6 months to get into Ford.
Yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah, it took a while. It was hard work.
Yeah.
I needed my photos, and they lost my photos, and I was so upset. I was crying, and so, you know, I pursued it to the most with my agents.
What do you mean they lost your photos?
They lost my photos. I had to contact the owner of Ford, Bill Ford, to hunt down my photos. And then I had to wait for one new agent to come in to get signed. So that took us 6 months.
Okay.
It was hard work.
And I understand, you know, I was with Willie, I was a Willie girl. I wasn't with Ford, but I understand that Ford was like the hardest agency. If you got in, it was the hardest one to stay in because they were very, very demanding of what they wanted from their girls. Did you have that experience?
When I started, it took about 3 months, and I did well my first year. So that's what really enticed me to pursue it while I was commuting from college. So I commuted from Philadelphia.
Oh, so you were doing this while you were in college?
I started in college.
Okay.
Like, I was walking the mall while I was in college, and then, you know, the whole 6 months of trying to get photos, I was at Temple University.
All right.
So I commuted, even for a casting. I would commute like 3 hours just to go to one casting. So that type of ambition, you know, I feel like was in me to pursue it. And I commuted for 5 years.
Well,
and,
you had to have been working to be commuting back and forth like that.
My first year, yes. I remember I did well. I had my first shoot in LA with Mode magazine, which inspired me to start modeling. And, you know, we were in a spa resort, and then I was basically dressed like Marilyn Monroe in like a halter bathing suit with crystal rose necklace. So I felt very glamorous.
You have to send me those pictures. Do you have them?
Yes.
Yes, you definitely have to send those.
Yes.
That sounds really beautiful. And Mobe was really, Mobe was ahead of their time.
They were.
And I'm so annoyed that they're no longer in existence because they did a lot of good things for this industry starting out. They started to get it wrong towards the end, which is part of the reason I think they're not here anymore. But it was a great magazine, and you don't really see anything like that. Now, in a print publication, you're really not going to see that anymore.
Right.
So now you got some really, really big clients under your belt.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that you've traveled all over the world.
I have.
Because if you got Marina Rinaldi for a client, that's major. If y'all don't know who that is, go look her up. What was that like to be traveling and jet setting at the, you know, pre 9/11 when the industry was really just huge? What was that like?
Well, my first shoot was in LA, so it's at 19. You pack a bag, you head up to the West Coast, and then you realize like this is amazing blessing. You know, you're on a location shoot that's beautiful. You're being catered to. You get hair and makeup ready, and then you use yourself as an art form to portray to the buyers of what they could feel like. You know? And you have to use your inner being and to portray this through camera.
Now, so. When you said you went to school and you had to take posing classes and all that stuff, is that something? Now, posing is not as easy as people make it out to be. Was that something that came naturally to you, working in front of the camera, or is that something you still have to consistently practice?
No, it took me about it took me about 3 years to know how to model.
So what did that entail?
My second shoot was Ashley Stewart.
Okay.
So I shot with Keisha, and it was Mother's Day, and her daughter was there, and the hair and makeup artist said, "Do you know how to model?" I said, "No." And then it's a craft. You have to work on it.
Yeah.
And then he told me to ask her how to do it, and she said 5 poses and work your body in every shot. So to be comfortable with yourself and know how to portray it through camera took a while at 19, like 19, 20. Since I was a tomboy beforehand. I didn't wear makeup and hair and makeup. I was always a tomboy growing up. So.
I don't see tomboy when I look at you, but okay.
Yeah, well, thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
Now, you were at Ford until Ford shut their doors.
Yes.
But they didn't close the agency, they just closed the Plus division, right?
Yes, Ford, because they sold 50% of their shares. The family was growing older, and the kids had their chance to run the business, but they did end up selling 50% of their shares to a shareholder, and then within like 5 years, the shareholder decided to downsize.
And that means?
And so he was closing different agencies, like in Canada, San Francisco, and just downsizing. You know, I think because of leasing and then the overhead, the cost, and what he wanted to do with the company.
And his vision didn't include Plus.
Well, you know, that year we made the most money. We had our supermodels, you know, we had Ashley, Candace, all their plus size supermodels there, and it was known throughout Ford that we made the most money the year before they closed. So I was actually working for Levi's, and a straight size Ford model said, "Did you hear Ford?" At the end of the job was like, "Did you hear Ford's closing tomorrow?" And so
that's how you found out?
That's how I found out at a job writing my voucher. So, and it was decided like on a Friday, and I found out the next Thursday. So I was thinking, like, it can't be us. We make the most money for the company. And we only have one location, really. And
that just lets you know what it was all about.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was just very shocking. It felt like when the stock market crashed, because I was there for like 13 years. Like, I never switched agencies. So it's something that you wouldn't ever expect, like the best agency in the world since the 60s, to suddenly downsize or even close. They had such a reputable name. And then the whole industry, I felt like, shifted after Ford closed.
Shifted for the better, or for the...
Well, we had marketed a lot of different divisions. So for me to go to a shoot, like within a week or two, everyone wanted to know what happened and why did they close, and like it's so sudden, and people that's been in the industry for over like 20 years were shocked.
That's
so.
And it's funny because that's the same thing that happened. I left Wilhelmina to go to the Curves at Karen's models, and I loved being at Karen's models. And then you turn in a voucher, and that Monday we're shutting down this division. It's not like we're not making a lot of money. They just didn't want that image associated with their agency, which I think was really stupid. But this is pretty much how it seems to go now.
Yeah, well, I would say the image, we made the most and we did well, and I feel like agents were preparing for maybe something to happen. So even like hair and makeup closed, kids division, classic, like older women. So a lot of different divisions closed. So, but he just wanted to be able to run a modeling agency.
Okay.
So that's
okay. I don't. You want to run a modeling agency, but you close down a division that brings in the most money? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. All right. So you left. Yeah. So you spent 16 years at Ford, right? Did you say 16?
It was about 13.
13 at Ford. And then where did you transition to next?
I went with an agent from Ford to Muse Models.
Okay.
And the head agent was a model I've worked with.
Rebecca?
Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did our first like teenage shoot together while I was in college. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, years prior, we shot for Chanel in Canada for like 3 years. So yeah, I went with them. They're very, you know, smaller boutique agency, but their board was gorgeous and they had really good clients. So.
Okay. And then
it was because like that Friday you make appointments with different agencies, but you go to agencies and they're shocked. They don't know what they want to do with their board. Like they're shocked as well because agents are going. Oh,
so there was a mass exodus from Ford, and they were just hitting all the other agencies trying to get put on.
And models were looking for representation.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Within that week. So it was that's why I said like a huge industry shift, and it kind of like spread everyone out. Like kind of you can't find them unless like the clients didn't know where to look for models unless you emailed them
and let them know where you were.
And let them know where you went.
Wow. Did you lose a lot of clients in that transition, or did you stay in touch with your?
Well, I didn't lose a lot. It just gave more opportunity to find someone new.
Okay, that's a good way of looking at it.
Yes. I had you know, to be successful, I feel like you should have 7 consistent clients a year to be able to do it full time, and to shoot at least once a week or once a month with the client. That's how I was able to do full time in my modeling career.
And that doesn't happen for everybody. Please know this. I mean,
you have to have consistency to make it a full-time career.
And you have to be good at what you do in order to keep those repeat clients coming back. And you didn't have an 18-year career because you left Muse and you went to MSA.
MSA, yes.
18-year careers are almost unheard of now.
It is.
At this point, folks are transitioning out to do something else. How is it different for you? Why do you think that you're still able to have a career at this point after having so much time? I mean, after doing it for so long.
Well, there's stages in modeling.
Okay.
You do like preteen and teen, then you do mid-20s, you market them, and then you do older women, like over 30 market.
Okay.
So there has been a shift leading into the over 30 market. I feel like strangers on the street say I look about 9 years younger than my age.
I don't know what your age is, but you still look like you're in your 20s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still in your 20s?
All the time.
You don't look like you're old. You're over. You don't look like you're in your 30s at all. And that, you know, that I know that works to your advantage because I was almost 40 when I signed with Wilhelmina.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Yep. I was almost 40 when I signed with Wilhelmina, and I just had the blessing to not look like I was that old.
Blessing.
And you know, ain't nobody getting put on. Well, you know, the industry is changing now, and well seasoned seems to be in now. Because I know a lot of people whose careers have been revived after they've hit the 50 mark.
It depends on the market you can do. You know, the age. They don't know your age. They know what you look like and how you can market the product. And
I would suggest that you get into the habit of not telling your age, because I find that once you tell them, then you start to look your age to them, which is a total crock. But that's what they'll beat you over the head with that once you tell them how old you are. Now you took some time when you said that when you transitioned from Ford, you went into real estate.
I did. Let's say I took some time off. I went home to take care of my grandmother, and then to see what's going on with modeling after Ford. And then finally, I could pursue real estate.
And was that a passion of yours for a long time?
Yes, it was 5 years prior. So when after the market crashed in like 2007, it was a good real estate market. So that's when it sparked my interest, and it was very popular, and that's when I wanted to pursue it, but because I went to school for it. So, but modeling kept me so busy with travel until Ford closed that I wasn't really interested in real estate to pursue it. But now that I was a little bit older and I realized modeling is not forever, like they say, the average career is 3 to 5 years, but I was blessed to have
18, baby, come on. Bravo, bravo.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell me about the real estate thing. How is that working out for you now?
It's going great. I feel like the ambition I have with modeling, I apply back to real estate, where it's very individual, it's competitive, it's New York, and you have to have that drive in you to kind of accomplish what you want to accomplish in your own individual business.
Okay, and with the
So I did a year in Manhattan and a year in Brooklyn. So I pursued it the past 2 years.
Or
it's rentals and sales.
Okay.
So
with the way that the market is, and real estate is booming right now in Manhattan. You said you do rentals and what was it?
Rentals and sales and commercial.
Is it high-end rentals? Because that seems to be the big thing now.
Yes. I feel like the inventory in Brooklyn, where I'm currently doing real estate, there's a lot of every other block there's something new being built. So that's why I moved
from Manhattan to...
Yeah.
Well, Brooklyn, they say that's supposed to be the new Manhattan, which doesn't bode well for you, Brooklyn, because Manhattan is so damn expensive right now that folks can't afford to live here, and I see that happening for Brooklyn as well.
Brooklyn is the #1 most expensive place to live in the United
Yeah,
States.
man, and it's never been like that before.
Well, I know. I've been living here since '04, so I see that it's supply and demand. A lot of people want to give it all the supply, but I don't know how much of a demand there is for luxury living.
Who's demanding that? Certainly not the people whose neighborhoods, for lack of a better word, that you're invading. Because it's not for them, and they see that immediately. Because I've seen the changes happen in Harlem.
Right.
It's like you building $1 million condos. Who are you building that for? Because the people who live here can't afford that stuff. So
it's people from out of country that invest, and people from out of state that are millennials that want to invest and have a investment property.
and they stockpile. They're not even living in them half the time, from what I understand.
Investment property.
Yeah, but that doesn't bode well for the neighborhood. But I guess, not to say you, but as a realtor, you don't really care about the people in the neighborhood, the people that are already there.
I lived in Harlem, and I see the difference from when I lived there in '04 till about 2 years ago when I moved back from Pennsylvania to take care of my grandmother. I see there is a newer generation that is enjoying the culture versus the people that are from Harlem. And it is different. The essence, the culture, the energy is definitely different. So hopefully it doesn't affect the people.
Of course it does.
I know, that's the only thing I hope. Like they have a lease.
A lot of people
where
get
it won't
displaced
affect them.
when all this new money comes and they want to warehouse and stockpile apartments.
Well, that's what it happens. It's by law, like they can raise it like 9% a year of your rent. So it's like $50, $75, but it's all like whatever's on the lease. Unfortunately, like it can be enforced by law.
Well, that is that's a normal part of it. You know you're going to have to pay an increase each time your lease ends. What gets me is the stories that I've been reading about these landlords, these people who own these properties, and they're in a rush to get out the people who were already living there before you bought it, and they do all sorts of crazy stuff to push people out. This is the sort of stuff I don't understand.
It's all
because you want your money quick, and be damned whoever's in there. I'm just gonna make you miserable till you leave. Or I'm gonna offer you something that's so incredibly low that, you know.
It's happening. It happened in one of my buildings in Brooklyn where I live, where they're paying people to move.
But they're not paying you what they're gonna make off of you leaving.
No.
It's not a fair trade, and they're hoping that you don't know that.
Right. That's what I mean by law. And even the same building, they were having community meetings this past year and asking me questions, old, neighbors, about like what they can do. I was like, everything has to be by law. That's why there is a big, what you got to know your law.
Yeah, but even if you know the law, like I just saw a piece on a landlord who was doing renovations on the empty apartments in the building he just bought. But they're doing like using jackhammers all night, all day, and his response to them is, if you don't like it, you can leave. There's dust and everything, and it's against the law.
It's against the law.
But we all know that they drag their feet. The city drags its feet when it's addressing stuff like this, or they just choose to ignore it, or it's just not a priority for them. So they keep they all get away with it, and I think that's sad. Because the the people who can't afford these luxury apartments are the lifeblood of the city. We keep the city running.
I know. Do you know? So
why do you want to run these people out?
49% is subsidized housing.
Exactly.
In New York. So when I go out and I look, I'm like, okay, there's so much real estate. There's so much to do here, but I don't want the people not to be able to afford it. I want to find what you want. But a lot of people, what they're used to paying, it's pretty much less of what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So yeah, by law, you got to know your rights and, definitely inquire about it. But everyone wants to make money. New York is a very expensive place to be.
Yes, it is.
It's New York. It's known just to come to make money.
And that's unfortunate because the town is so much
and it's
more
49%
than that.
subsidized housing. So it's great to have generations be able to afford, but I don't like when they can't at all.
Yeah, it makes you wonder where these poor people gonna go. The Bronx is the next place they go, and then the gentrification has already started up there too. So it'll be interesting to see, where New York will be in, I'd say, the next 5 years.
I'm interested too. There's a lot of development, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
All right, so what's up next for you? Because I know you're still modeling. You're now with Model Service Agency.
I am.
And you're working all the time, I'm assuming?
Currently, I'm just starting up with the new agency, so I'm not, and I'm pursuing real estate full-time versus modeling.
So you're thinking you're going to just transition out to real estate full-time?
I feel like I want to always model, but yes, I want something more, a different career.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I've done it all, and I pursued all my dreams with modeling.
You writing that book? The 18-year career, you didn't write that down? You got to write something?
Yes, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to give any type of tips I can through blog.
You have a blog now?
I'm going to start a blog. Thanks, Sharon.
That's what I do. I try to inspire people. Yes. So do you have a website? Where can the people reach you? You have social media outlets? My
Instagram.
What's that?
Is Miss Ivana Christel, MSIVANACHRISTEL.
Are you on Twitter, Snapchat, all that other stuff, or just?
I'm currently not.
That's odd. I don't hear that too often.
I know. I'm very private.
Okay.
But for modeling, it's a great source of networking.
All right. Okay, all right, guys, we are almost out of time. I'd like to thank my guest, Miss Ivana Fields, for sharing her industry knowledge with us today. Now, before I go, as always, I'd like to leave you with a few thoughts. I want you to, 1, remember you can't change the game until you first learn the game. 2, always surround yourself with positive people and positive things. 3, do what you love and love what you do. And lastly, be who you are, but please be who you are tastefully. Always have some class about yourself. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. And if you missed an episode of Model Behavior, now you can view the previous episodes on our YouTube channel. Just Google Model Behavior with Sharon Quinn, and all of the previous episodes will come up. Thanks for watching Model Behavior, and I'll see you guys next week. Class is officially dismissed. Bye, y'all. And once again, I don't hear